Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me for Singapore FinTech Festival coverage is Luke Kim, managing director at Phillip Securities, to discuss technology solutions and online brokerage industry development. Luke, it's great to meet you virtually. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Welcome. Thank you.
Tell us more about your footprint and the company background for Phillip Securities in the APAC region.
Sure. We are based headquarters in Singapore. We are very much focused in ASEAN. We are in 15 countries with over 5,000 staff and doing retail stockbroking. And we launched online trading in 1996.
And Luke, my question to you is, there's a lot of fintech startups joining the game in the brokerage industry, particularly in ASEAN. How do you see the online brokerage industry development in Singapore as well as in the region?
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a growing segment. I think as Asians become more affluent, we're going to see more and more startups, the different online broking firms, fintech solutions coming out of Southeast Asia. The other thing we're also observing is I think I must point that this year is a very volatile and unusual year, and it's not a normal year. And brokers, we believe in market cycles. And therefore, what we're going to see, I think, is going to be more digital, more better UX, more customer focus. I think these are some of the trends we're going to see that the startups will bring.
And Luke, that's a great point. That's one thing that we've learned in 2020, because the next generation of investors are now asking for more mobile applications or asking for more sophisticated trading platforms. What are your clients looking for in terms of technology solutions, and how is Phillip Securities working towards its digital strategy?
Excellent. Yeah, so I think as we move from a very single market where most firms have a very local bias in terms of exchange or stock market appetite, we're going to see the move towards a more US centric, a more Hong Kong centric, and you're going to see more opening up of multi-markets. My wish is as ASEAN brokers develop ourselves, we also can have an ASEAN focus as well. The other thing that what we'll see among local brokers is the idea of curation of stock ideas as a premium service, because in a very local ASEAN, ASEAN is very diverse, and you need that local know-how to offer that premium service. The other thing is also embracing high tech and high touch. So the idea of high tech and high touch is the idea where the ASEAN person can still pick a phone, call somebody, at the same time use the tech solutions of mobile apps to trade online. So the idea between simplicity on using the app, the convenience, as well as the sophistication to talk to someone or broker on the other line. So I think that's where things will be moving. The other area of ASEAN that's very important is the millennial generation. There's a big growing millennial population base that's growing. And therefore, the focus, even though UX is a given, the focus is very much on responsible investing. And some of the ASEAN countries need the responsible investor education, where we can teach them what is investing all about, so that they can build their nest eggs. So I think that's extremely important as well.
And what are the most important types of tools and data sets for your clients? What are they looking for in terms of market data and analytics? And my other question to you, Luke, is how does Nasdaq support you in that regard?
Yeah, so Phillip will be rolling out the Nasdaq Basics across the group. And I think in terms of support, when we're looking for for us is important is the quality of data set, the quality of the data stream, and of course the worldwide infrastructure support. Because what we don't want is the ASEAN investor unable to accept the stream of markets of the prices. The other area is, of course, as Asian investors get more and more sophisticated, they'll be looking for market depth, ticker feeds, pre and post markets as well. And there is and whatever gives them an edge to trade. And you must understand, when we trade the US, it's our nighttime for us. So the pre and post just give us some idea of where the market is going from the Asian investor eyes. And the other one is throughput, right? The throughput of data streams, especially when US market opens. I think these are very important to the ASEAN investors. And last but not least, in ASEAN, not everyone has a full, or not every country has a full data plan. So of course, the streaming and the efficiency of the data is extremely important.
Yep, we struggle with that in the US as well. I totally understand that. So, Luke, to wrap up with you here, tell us more about Phillip Securities aspirations. Let's look at the next 5 to 10 years down the road. Where do you think the company is going to be at that point?
It's a very interesting question. And in 10 years, many things can change. But one of the things we're looking at is really developing the nest egg for investors. I want to follow where my customers are. And in 10 years' time, many of my customers will be reaching retirement soon. So the idea for us is to grow to at least 500 financial advisors to help them plan for their retirement. Second area is the area of market access. I think ASEANs are growing to be affluent. And what is unusual is that in ASEAN, we generally have a higher interest rates. And in terms of financial planning, we must be able to address these cost concerns that they have for their financial plan. And we try and express it in our countries of Cambodia, India, and Indonesia, where we have customers in. The last area is financial product innovation. And I think when we look at 10 years time, as of now, stocks and bonds are the most efficient asset class. But of course, with digital assets coming in, will that be even more efficient? So today, some of the young people in the legacy plan or financial planning are also asking us how we can also pass down their cryptocurrencies to their next descendants. So what we also will see, I think, is the area in 10 years' time, Phillip will have more collaboration with others, because, collaboration with fintech, collaboration with alternative data sources, because in ASEAN, credit is still an important game in the broking world. If you can offer credit, people will trade with you more. So I think collaboration, partnership will be what we'll see in Phillip in 10 years' time.
Luke, appreciate the insight. Thanks so much for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.